Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the Saints quarterback situation.
Yeah, it's an interesting one with the three guys that are currently there. We wouldn't assume all three are going to be there in the offseason. There's already been news about two of the guys and what they're going to do. We decided to do this because Drew Brees recently posted on his Instagram, I believe it was on Tuesday that he did this.
Nice picture, too.
Yeah, it was. It was very, that mountain was very beautiful.
Seen it.
But he said he's coming back for another season. He's going to give it another go. So that's really what inspired us to do this. And so many things that have happened in Drew Brees' career, so many records that he has, that being in a game or all time.
Quote that he had on his Instagram was, "My feelings about the 2020 season. I look forward to the grind and the journey, for the reward at the end will be worth it. Love you. #HooDat Nation. Let's make another run at it." Yeah. So he's saying, I'm playing next year, and he's going to be with the Saints, and he says it's going to be worth it in the end, so he's expecting to win. I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like also there's a nice picture. I don't know where he is, but he's on a hill, and then
it's a mountain.
A mountain. Oh, yeah.
That's a really tall
He's
hill.
on top of the hill, just like in the depth chart.
Yeah. He's at the top of the hill, and it's a beautiful picture with some ocean, I think it is.
Well, speaking of hills, we got another quarterback here. We got another quarterback here. Taysom Hill, as we look at their roster.
Yep.
I just use a clever play on words and they didn't even acknowledge it.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Taysom Hill right now, because there's a lot of interesting things about Taysom. Especially going into this year, he's a restricted free agent, which means he is a free agent, but if a team makes a bargain on him, then the Saints can go ahead and match that bargain and keep him for themselves, which is something I could definitely see them doing.
Mm-hmm. And we know they are high on Taysom Hill, because they even said before Drew Brees made his decision, they said they see him, I don't know the exact quote, but they said they see him as like a big part of their future. They think he's franchise material. We just, we just really haven't.
He's doing an Instagram search of Drew Brees.
We just haven't really seen him throw the ball much. We know he's a physical player. We know he could play pretty much any position under the sun. We just haven't seen him throw the ball. Like, hasn't like Mohamed Sanu thrown more passes than him or something? Like career, I think I saw a crazy stat like that, or completed more passes or something. We just really haven't seen it on game day from Taysom Hill. But Sean Payton and the Saints organization must be seeing something they like from Taysom Hill in practice to be that high on him. Because this guy, he's thrown, 11 passes his career? The Saints are already saying he's going to be special someday.
It's very strange how much confidence they have in him. Because even when he played in college at BYU, I think that's where he went.
He went to Purdue.
No, Drew Brees
went to Purdue.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about Taysom.
Teddy Bridgewater went to Louisville.
There we go. Now you know where all three of them went to college. There's a little background. Yeah. But Taysom Hill got hurt a lot in college and then came into the NFL. He's been here for a little while now. It's been a really strange career for Taysom.
Yep.
He's been to a couple places. I think he was at the Packers organization one time. I know that for sure. And then he found his home. He found what he's supposed to do, at least for now, with the Saints as their running back, wide receiver, quarterback, special teams guy, gunner, everything he can do. Okay. But I feel like the position we've seen him at the least is quarterback, and that's where he's being predicted to go for the future.
Yeah, and I'm in this video now, no longer on my phone, so I will give my little analysis on Taysom Hill. Honestly, I wasn't listening too much to your points because I was too busy having fun searching Drew Brees' Instagram.
It's pretty wild there.
Yeah. But me and Tyler actually did talk about this for a while. We talked about the Saints situation. Ryan was not there for that. But we talked about it, and Taysom Hill is a guy, yes.
He's a guy.
Here's a guy. Tyler just said he lines up all over the place, so he's a very versatile player. He's been called the Swiss Army knife. And the thing with Taysom Hill, and the thing that I like with what the Saints are doing, is in the NFL, the league has turned into, all right, let's build around our guy. We know what our guy's talents are. We've seen him in college. We're not going to try to change that, and we're going to let this guy, our franchise quarterback, which it seems like they might be trying to go towards. We'll see, but we'll let our guy do what he's good at. You look at the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's he's a more skilled running back than just running quarterback.
I mean, he might have
yeah, still might be right.
I mean, he's not bad for a running back though.
No. I meant to say he's a more skilled running quarterback than most people in the NFL. So what do? They have I'm going bad. They have their offense based off of his running and that threat that he poses to defenses, and they build around him. Taysom Hill is pretty similar with a little bit of differences, I think. Where we haven't really seen him yet, so we don't know exactly what he can do. But for the Saints, and Sean Payton's a very smart coach. If they do give him a chance, they're going to build their team around him and his skill sets. And we've seen his skill sets. He can play wide receiver. He can play running back. He could play quarterback. He could probably play defense if he wanted to. He could probably kick it. He could probably punt it. He could play offensive line. And I'm missing any other positions here.
I don't know.
Brian, do you know if I'm missing other positions?
He can play a lot of
We
positions.
have all the time we want
We'll
to
just
talk
leave
about
it
to
at
talk about the positions, right?
This is a pretty hefty quarterback situation. We got to talk about a lot of things, not just what positions he can play, which is pretty much everything.
Yeah, let's talk about the Louisville guy now.
Yeah.
Or it's Louisville or something like that. I don't even know.
Louisville.
No, it's
Whatever.
Louisville or something.
It's Louisville. It's not Louisville.
No,
I'm sure people from
it's Louisville. It's Louisville.
Where is it? Kentucky?
Oh my.
Yes. Yeah.
Louisville.
It's just over the
Louisville.
river. It's like you go to Indiana and then you're just over there, but then boom, you like see it. Like the football stadium is like 2 miles away from the river.
All right, so
I
yeah,
have a picture of it.
very interesting with Teddy Bridgewater. I think he started 5 games this year with the Saints, and he won all 5 of them. And I know they got a lot of people on offense, but Alvin Kamara wasn't it this time, and Latavius Murray was doing a lot of the dirty work in those 5 weeks. Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater held his own for sure, and he had some really good plays, which is why people are going to be looking into him. But especially with Drew Brees now confirming that he's going to stay in the NFL and stay with the Saints, Teddy Bridgewater seems like he's going to go elsewhere.
Yeah, and Teddy Bridgewater, he bet on himself and he won because he wanted to stay in New Orleans last offseason. He got his opportunity. I think it was, what would you say, 5-0 as a starter for Teddy?
That was my prediction.
Okay, he undefeated.
I
Undefeated.
guess, yeah.
They beat some good teams, and people really wrote the Saints off once Drew Brees got hurt. And he didn't just keep them afloat, because I remember looking at the schedule and I was saying, okay, they got to win at least like 3 of these games, and then they'll be okay.
Yeah, that's in a video too from the past. I remember you saying that.
And then all of a sudden they go undefeated, and then they were in a really, really good spot down the stretch. They did end up with that 3 seed in the end, but 13-3, 9 times out of 10 you probably get a first round bye. Just got the unfortunate losing ends of some tiebreakers. But the Saints, they're a team that's ready to win, and no matter who the quarterback is, even though likely it's going to be Drew Brees, they are ready to win. But Teddy Bridgewater, upon hearing this news with Taysom Hill there, with Drew Brees coming back, he's probably going to make some big bucks in free agency. So you look at teams, we talk about this a lot of teams in the quarterback market. Tampa, maybe dark horses like Chicago or Carolina, Indianapolis. Teddy Bridgewater is going to be a lot richer in a couple months.
Yeah, and before going on to some teams that he's going to go to, I'm just going to jump back to his time with the Saints. We're assuming he's moving on. But Ryan did mention he chose to stay with the Saints instead of, he probably could have maybe got a starting job somewhere else, or at least another job at some point. He probably could have at some point in the NFL this year, to be honest. But he decided to stay with the Saints to watch Drew Brees, Sean Payton, that great offensive work, to learn around them, and he eventually got to end up playing in it, and he played well. Those games were his resume. He put out a great resume for teams. People are going to be trying to jump on him when free agency comes, but he really he put himself in a position where now he knows a lot more about just the game of football. I'm sure you knew a lot before, but learning behind all those guys is always nice for especially some of these younger guys to learn. So now he's going off with a great resume with some new knowledge that he learned to go out, and as Ryan said, he now has the opportunity to go make the big bucks for his career. He's had a very interesting career. Looked like he was going to have a pretty good start with the Vikings, then he got hurt on a play in practice, which people thought he might not even come back to the game of football, but here he is. He's back. Teddy Two Gloves now should be going into free agency, and people will be wanting him. He should definitely become a starter in the league this coming season.
Yeah, and real quick, while we're on the topic of Teddy Bridgewater, here's a picture of Louisville for you. That's crossing right. That's crossing right just because you don't know where it is.
Louisville.
That city in Kentucky, there's the bridge, crossing, just so you know where it is. That's a nice picture by me, I will say.
Where's the bridge?
Right there.
There's another one.
Yeah, there's another one.
If only you guys could see
Hey,
the
look,
picture
there's
there.
Kentucky.
Yep.
Is
So
this-
as he looks through my wonderful photos, let's talk about the way the Saints quarterback situation. It's so unique. Very rarely do you have three guys that you have a lot to talk about. And the thing with Teddy Bridgewater is only 27, so I don't really think he's reached his ceiling. Sometimes you got, like, when teams are evaluating, like, who they want to sign, they say, okay, how much better can you get? Is this your ceiling? Are you better? Teddy Bridgewater,
Where was this?
he is really going to be in a good position for himself and for a team. I think he's still got a lot left. He's only 27. He's not old, and he hasn't played a lot as most 27-year-olds because of the injury. So just another interesting thing about Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, I think Drew Brees, I know it's interesting with these other two guys to talk about, but Drew Brees obviously deserves some respect. I want to read you just a couple of the records that he holds.
A lot of
He
them.
has the most career touchdown passes, the best single game completion percentage. He's the all-time leading passer. I don't know what that means, but it says it on the site. The completion percentage, we talked about that. He's actually gotten that twice. He's beaten every NFL team once. He's thrown muchos touchdowns in general, as we talked about. Let's keep going. He has the most consecutive season with 4,500 passing yards. He's tied for the highest single season passing yards per game. He can still break more records, and he has the career completions, most seasons in the NFL in passing yards. He has 7 of those. The list goes on and on, but we don't have all day. Another one, most seasons with 30 passing touchdowns. He has 10 with 30 or more passing touchdowns, which is really insane.
Yeah, he's got one more run.
He has a huge legacy so far with 1 Super Bowl under his belt. He is looking to tuck another one in there, as we mentioned earlier from his Instagram post. He's going for it all this year. He has had a rough playoff experience.
The Vikings are probably excited once they heard
They
this
want to try to
news.
beat it again.
Yeah.
Well, they're not making the playoffs next year. Ooh,
Little too early to be talking about that.
Yeah, I know, but I always had to take my shots at the Vikings.
Yes.
But I was going to say
I like how you reacted to
something-
your own statements.
Hey, you guys weren't going to do it, so I had to.
I mean, that doesn't shock me. You've never been a fan of Minnesota. Except for like a long time ago.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, even a long time ago, I really didn't like them. Even when they had a guy who we talked about this video, Teddy Bridgewater, even when they had him, I actually wasn't that big of a fan of him. I know your brother liked Teddy Bridgewater a lot. I remember that. Do you remember that?
Yep.
So, those are the 3 guys that are in this whole thing. But who knows, if Taysom Hill decides to leave and Teddy Bridgewater decides to leave, they could go to the draft.
I remember it.
They could definitely go to the draft and get a guy like
I remember what I was going to say.
Jordan Love or Jacob Eason. I wouldn't go first round to draft a quarterback. That just seems ridiculous, especially when you have someone but go and get a later round guy if both those guys leave, to have someone that's there to back him up. Similar to what Patrick Mahomes did with Alex Smith.
And the thing that I was going to say before when I was talking about... I forgot it again.
Okay.
Hold on, give me a second.
Louisville.
No.
Louisville.
Whatever. Say it however you want.
Oh, I remember
Do
that.
whatever you want.
Me and Tyler were having a discussion about the Saints and a few other quarterbacks as well. But I did think that Drew Brees was going to retire, honestly, because looking at his Instagram,
I
which
said
is
he
what I was
was
doing,
retiring.
Yeah, I didn't think he was either.
just saw how many times he posted about his family and stuff like that, how much he loves them and wants to be with them. But I think this will be his last shot at it. I think after this season, he is going to be gone regardless. I hope not, because I love Drew Brees. But it was a tough decision for him, and one that now there's no looking back. It's on to next season. He'll be with his family along the way still, but he's back, and we're excited to see it.
Yeah, Drew Brees is a guy that always has a chip on his shoulder. The most recent of that being that he didn't make the all-time NFL team.
Or maybe just the fact that he lost in the playoffs.
Or in the playoffs as well.
And they've always been good in the regular season.
Also, I apologize, our lights aren't on today. I just noticed that for this video, but that's going to be fine. But yeah, it's going to be fun to see. It's gonna be fun to see.
Wow.
Trying to point it out.
Yeah, I just noticed that as I was talking.
Yeah, well, you're the one who usually turns them on.
I don't know how they got off, but
I turn them off. Before,
Likely because someone turns
I
it
don't
off.
want to waste the lighting on them, so that the light bulb doesn't burn out.
okay. But anyways,
So just the
It's
moral
gonna
of the story is it's his fault.
it's going to be fun to watch what the the Saints can do this year with Drew Brees with the chip on his shoulder. We'll see if
What
the
chip
other
is
two,
it? Is
any
it
of the
Pringle?
two guys,
Lay's?
if
Doritos?
any of the two guys that are there,
Ruffles?
any of the two guys that are there currently stay there, or they bring in a new guy. It's going to be very interesting to watch, which is why we made the video. I hope you guys are excited for that. I hope you guys like this video. Make sure to like it if you did. Subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell. And comment down below where you think Taysom Hill
I
or
guess you could say Cheetos.
Teddy Bridgewater are going. And with all that, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.